Last month, over 100,000 illegal aliens were detained at the border, and it's getting worse. We're seeing in particular more and more kids, unaccompanied kids, young children, kids in cages, as the media told us for 4 years relentlessly during Donald Trump. Well, there are a lot more kids in cages right now, and the Biden administration doesn't want anyone to know this.
The Biden administration finally caving to the intense pressure, granting limited media access to a single holding center for migrant children. That's happening later today in Carrizo Springs, Texas. Meanwhile, senior White House officials are set to visit Mexico and Guatemala tomorrow in a bid to stem the overwhelming surge of migrants crossing the border in the middle of a pandemic. Thomas Homan is former acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. He's a Fox News contributor. It's good to have you. I want to have you listen to another piece of sound from Vice President Harris about the border.
Will you and the president be going down to the border anytime soon?
At some point, absolutely, we will go down to the border, and I've been down to the border. And our Secretary of the Homeland Security, Alex Mayorkas, has been down there twice. Senior administration officials have been down there. And yes, we will go.
So there have been these visits, Tom, but then the visits don't translate into any sort of change in policy, at least not yet.
Yeah, you know, they can make all the trips to the border they want. Until they undo the damaging policies of the Biden administration, things aren't going to change. Now, you just mentioned they're going down to Mexico and Guatemala, meet with those officials, try to come to some agreements. I'd like to remind them, President Trump had agreements with Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, and Mexico that they tore up within 2 weeks. Why they would tear up agreements with other countries that are the source of illegal migration, an agreement that would help stem the flow of illegal immigration, is just ridiculous. They're in such a hurry undoing everything Trump, is that they put themselves in this crisis. And one thing, Ted Cruz was exactly right what he said, but I want to add one more thing what Ted Cruz says. Yeah, 100,000 a month, but there's over 1,000 a day. Border Patrol estimates 1,000 a day are getting away because of sensor traffic, camera traffic, drone traffic, entries that they can't respond to because they're so busy with their family units. So there's over 30,000 that are getting by the Border Patrol in a month. Who are they? Do they have COVID? Are they criminals? Are they carrying drugs, fentanyl, and opioids? That's what makes this a national security crisis.
Mayorkas worked the border issue for Obama for 7 or 8 years. He knew the plan, the policy, once implemented, what's working, what's not. But you're saying the only reason why they changed the law with Mexico, or the agreement with Mexico, the only reason they changed the agreements with Central American countries is because Donald Trump had agreement with them? If that's the case, they knew what the fall-on effect would be. So we've been asking people every time they come on our air, why? If you know eventually how this is going to turn out, why do it? Answer that, sir.
I wrote an op-ed in June of last year, 8 months ago, and I said this was going to happen. I called every one of these things were going to happen because the promises Biden was making during the campaign. And I've said on numerous shows, this isn't by accident, this is by design, because Joe Biden was the vice president in 14-15 during the family surge. Alejandro Mayorkas was the deputy secretary. I met with him numerous times. We talked about what causes surges and how do we end it. How do we end it in 14-15? We built thousands of detention beds. We detained people. We detained them until they saw a judge. 90% lost their cases. ICE removed them. We took away the enticements. What are they doing now? The complete opposite by design. They're not detaining people. They're releasing them as quick as they can. ICE has been gutted. They're not deporting anyone. And they keep offering more and more enticements. Just like yesterday, now we're going to process them and not give them a court date, and we'll just leave it up to them to show up at court someday. The enticements just keep getting added. They're doing exactly the opposite of what they know will stop this surge. That's why I said this is not incompetence. This is not a mistake. This is by design. This is what open borders look like. Joe Biden has sold out this country and our national security and our border security to win an election. There's no other excuse. And they get on TV every day and lie about it, saying it's not a crisis. But if it is a crisis, it's President Trump's fault. President Trump gave us the most secure border in my career, which spanned almost 35 years. They tore it apart in 2 weeks. What I would like from this administration is a little integrity. Get on national TV and tell the truth to the American people. They know what the truth is, and it's almost embarrassing to hear them deny it, then try to flip it over to President Trump, who gave us the most secure border I've ever seen.
All right, Tom Homan, look forward to hearing what you have to say after the press conference tomorrow, because no doubt this is going to come up. Thank you.